Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. I'm Maggie Gahagan, District Director for District 66. I'd like to welcome everyone to our August Town Hall. The idea behind the Town Hall was to give everybody the opportunity to meet the district leaders and interact with us. And every time we have a meeting, we are going to have a motivational speaker, and you'll hear more about that in a little bit. Somebody has their, I'm hearing echoing going on here. After we have our motivational speaker, we will have about 30 minutes of questions and answers. We just open the floor up, and my vision for the district is for the leaders to all be visible, accessible, and accountable. And this is one of the ways we're doing this. Since we're not able to meet in person at this time, we will do this. Town halls are something we did a few years ago when I was Club Growth Director, and Linda Kennedy as District Director, and I ran up and down the 64 and down 81. We went to visit members throughout the district, and we enjoyed it, and we found that the members enjoyed that. It gave us an opportunity to interact with the members a little bit closer one-on-one. So tonight we have an agenda, and Robin is posting that in the chat for you. I like to make a few announcements, and then I'm going to have the other members of the district leadership team make announcements. So on the agenda, you will see, we'll start with the remarks from us. We'll have our motivational speaker and then the question and answer. So the few things that I'd like to announce to everyone is that we will have a town hall the first Thursday of every month at 6:30. We probably won't be opening up before 6:15 because at 5:30 every week, the Pentagon, I call it a Pentagon instead of trio, is where I and Marty and Tishan as the program quality director and the club growth director, along with our public relationship manager, John Roberts, and Robin Jenkins as our administrative manager meet. So I call it our Pentagon meeting just to change things up and to make it a little bit more fun. It sounds more important when I say I have a Pentagon call at 5:30. So we do that every week. So when we have our town halls, we'll only be opening at about 6:15, just so we have our time for our weekly talk and we can update each other on everything. So the other thing I'd like to announce is that on the second Thursday of every month, I have office hours from 6:30 to 7:30. That's on the calendar. It will always be this link, and that is on the calendar for you. And that's just an opportunity if you wanted to come talk to me a little bit more one-on-one, and I'm there to answer any questions you have. I would like to remind the clubs, presidents, and the secretaries that you have proxies that need to be assigned or designated to either an active member in the district or yourself or to me as the district director. The deadline for that is on August 16th, so that's quickly approaching. It is a very important thing to do because it gives you the opportunity to express your voting for the international directors that are voted upon every year. This year is the odd districts or odd regions that have their international votes going on. And it's important for us to express who we want to be representing us. And if you're not sure who to vote for, you can go and read about them on the Toastmasters International page under the board of directors. It has like all the candidates listed, or you can designate that to me as the district director. The trio has met and interviewed all the candidates this year, and that's a very time consuming but a very informative opportunity for us to learn about members throughout the world. So remember, that deadline is on August 16th, and it would help us if you get that vote in sooner than later. The other thing I'd like to remind is our district council meeting is on September 16th. That's from 7 to 9 p.m. That is an important time where we have opportunity to vote on the budget that the trio is working on right now. All the presidents and the vice president of education have a vote at that meeting. So it's important that you attend that meeting, and more information will be sent out to you soon, as well as the budget, so you can review that ahead of time. And that's when we'll officially appoint the area directors and a few other items. The last thing I'd like to remind you about is that on September 18th, we have the Fall Gala, Awards Gala, and that is going to be at the 4 Points by Sheridan in Midlothian. We had that there, I believe, 2 years ago, and that is a luncheon from 11 to 2 p.m. And that's an opportunity, the first time that we're all going to be meeting together. And I think that's going to be a really, really nice event. We're also going to make sure we recognize all the distinguished Toastmasters from the past 2 years and have our parade of DTMs at that time. So we will get more information out to you. I just want to remind you to put that on your calendar for September 18th, and it's 11 to 2 p.m. At this time, I would like to invite our program quality director, Marty Buzzard, to speak and to share a few announcements that he has this evening. Marty?
Thank you, Maggie. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Zoom meeting of Toastmasters. This is the first one we've had, starting at 6:30 today. I have a couple of announcements I'd like to give you. First of all, thank you to all of those people who attended club officer training at our SLI on the 17th of July. We had 250 officers trained. That's only about a little over a third of the total officers in the district. So we are continuing to hold officer training this week. All of the officer positions are having trainings on this Saturday, day after tomorrow. And then next week, again, all of the officer positions will be trained. So you have 2 more opportunities if you've missed training so far. And again, as you know, Toastmasters wants all clubs to have at least 4 officers trained if you want to get a point for your Distinguished Club program. Coming up, we will be having contests as we have every year. At the DEC meeting in July, we voted that we will hold those contests face-to-face. They'll be live for the area, for the division, and for the district. Toastmasters does not regulate clubs, so clubs can still hold their contests virtually or live. It's totally up to them. However, whoever wins your club when they go to the area, it will be a live contest. As of right now, with the Delta variant rearing its ugly head, we still will wait and see what happens later on in the year if we need to change that. We have the opportunity to change it back to virtual one time this year, but if we decide to do that, we cannot move back to face-to-face. Again, I'm only talking about area, division, and district. Mark your calendars for the road to Roanoke on 4/29, 4/30, and May 1st. Cassandra Sabo, along with the Mastery Toastmasters Club in Roanoke, will be working to make the conference a chance to enjoy and get to know more about their city. Some of the sites are the Taubman Museum, which has been celebrated as a modern work of art by the international art community. We will be holding the contest for the district contest on Friday. We will be holding the international speech contest on Saturday evening, and then Saturday morning will be the annual conference, which Maggie already talked about, which we will be voting on new officers and so on and so forth. Sunday, you'll have the opportunity to have breakfast with the winners. So mark your calendars. You'll be hearing a lot more about this in the coming months. Maggie, back to you.
Thank you, Marty. At this time, I would like to invite our club growth director, Tashan Harris-Yagorji, up. The virtual lectern is yours, Tashan.
Thank you, Maggie. Nearly a century ago, Dr. Ralph Smedley had a vision of how he would help you and millions of others learn how to become better communicators and leaders in a positive and supportive environment. In order to keep his legacy alive, each year we challenge each club to add 5 new members from August 1st to September 30th to receive the Smedley Award. Not only do you have that opportunity as a club, an individual is also recognized if they recruit 5 new members, they will receive from Toastmasters International a 5-member pin. So we encourage you to take the challenge and go out and spread the word about our Toastmasters educational program. And this will put you in the running for the excellence and growth and membership towards the end of the year in doing so. Also, we like to remind you of another incentive, which is the early bird incentive. This is an award that your club can receive for having members to pay their dues, to have the majority who pay their dues above or at their membership base will be recognized for the early bird if they submit their dues before October 1st. I also want to encourage you as well. We are looking for volunteers. I do see some of my marketing committee team members here tonight, and thank you for coming out, but we still need more. We need individuals who may want to serve the district as a mentor to help new clubs get started, as well as club coaches, and anybody who might be interested in being a part of the demonstration team. What the demonstration team does is actually help conduct a demonstration meeting for any potential new club leads. As well as I know that our division directors are looking for club growth assistants to help them with club quality as well as club growth. So if any of those positions interest you, please contact me or your division director and let them know. Thank you.
Thank you, Tashawn. At this time, I would like to call up our public relations manager, John Roberts, to share some things that he has been working on. John?
Thank you, Maggie. In July, we launched a new video newsletter. It was called Focus on 5. I don't know if everyone saw it. It is being emailed to you. It is on the district website, and it's also on our new YouTube channel. If you'd like to see this, what we do is we roll information out from 5 different areas: the district director, the program quality director, club growth, education, and admin, to let everybody know what's going on in the district and what should be passed on to your members if you're a club officer, of course. So check out that. Check out the YouTube channel. We also have a member, Jim Kennedy, who's launched a podcast called The Toastmaster Leader. That's also located on the website, if you want to go there and find that. We would like to have more submissions from you guys, more video, pictures, and that kind of thing. Everybody's living in a visual environment right now. So the more visual we can get to promote Toastmasters out there. I know we're a speaking club, but you have to move gestures and all that kind of things to promote yourself. So that's what we're looking for. So if you could submit any of that to me that you would want to promote, or have questions about promoting or how to promote, please contact me. Please go to the website and check out the event calendar for what's coming up. And check out our Facebook page as well. If you're not a big fan of Facebook, at least do it for the district. And what I'm going to do is in the chat right now, I'm going to post my email address, the Facebook page, the district website, the YouTube channel, and every link we have to every social media right now. So visit those, check them out. There's nobody can say they don't have the information now. So help support us and we'll help support you. Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you, John. I'd like to point out that John also once a month on the 4th Monday of the month has an office hour in which he's inviting all members are welcome. but particularly he's invited the VPPRs and the VPMs because he teaches us something new about social media, how we can promote better and so on. So it's a great opportunity for you to learn a little bit more in a smaller group. So thank you, John. At this time, I would like to call up Robin Jenkins, our administrative manager, who is my right hand and keeps me straight in everything I do. And if you can't find me, ask Robin, because she always knows where I am at. And at this time, I'd like to call Robin up. Robin?
Good evening. Ola Lania became a Toastmaster in 2014. He served as president, VPE, VPM, treasurer, and secretary with 3 of his 5 clubs. He won and placed at speech contests at the area and division levels. He has co-sponsored a community club and an advanced club and attained the Distinguished Toastmaster designation in the traditional and pathways educational programs. He is a recipient of District 38 Superhero and 2020 Toastmaster of the Year awards. Ola has served 2 terms as an area director and is currently serving in his 2nd year as a division director. Over the past year, he has completed 24 pathways educational levels and recently successfully defended his doctoral dissertation, which he researched the development of servant leadership characteristics amongst Toastmasters. Ola is a member of 2 advanced clubs, the co-sponsored Brutally Honest with Love and District 66 Advanced Leadership Club. I am honored to welcome my friend and fellow club member, Distinguished Toastmaster Ola Lania, as he presents his speech tonight for us, where no Toastmaster has gone before. Take it away, Ola.
Thank you very much, Robin. I grew up in the 70s, and one of the things that I enjoyed doing with my late father was staying up Wednesday nights to watch the show Star Trek. That was the original series that came out in the late 60s, around that time frame. And one of the things that would always enrapture me is when Captain James Tiberius Kirk would come on the screen and he would flip out his communicator and call out to the USS Enterprise and say those immortal words, "Energize." My fellow Toastmasters and district leaders, I thank you for this opportunity to share some of the things that I've lived and experienced with you and walk you through some of the things that in my life has helped spur my imagination. I marveled at Captain T. Kirk, James T. Kirk, when he was able to flip out a small device that had no wires, and he was able to speak to someone hundreds of miles away. Well, guess what? In the 2000s, Motorola came out with something called the Razor. Yes, this little gadget right here. And guess what? I was the first in line to get one. I took it, got home, made sure I charged it up, full up with power, flipped it out, and started to channel my inner Captain James T. Kirk. Domino's, can you energize me a pizza? Extra pepperoni, if you please. For those of you that grew up during a time period in which you've ever used a rotary phone or a dial tone phone, or maybe you had to call an operator and they had to connect you, go into the chat and type in these words, OLDI. Yes, oldie. And grammarian, don't correct it. We're gonna leave it at the 4 characters. OLDI, there we go. We got some oldies in the room. Excellent, I love it, I love it. Now, those individuals, and indulge me a little bit here, if you looked at my phone and said, Razor, what the heck is that? type in babe, B-A-B-E, or if you want, baby. And if you don't, if you have a child or someone within your household who doesn't remember using a rotary phone, type in babe. Excellent. I see that we've got a couple, one or two, but we got some folks in the room. One key thing I want to share and just bring about in terms of reminiscing is this. For us oldies, we're going to go back in history. And for the babes, get your pen and paper handy because it's going to be a history lesson. Now, back in the day, your memory had to be good. Why? Because you had to memorize those phone numbers. Yes, you had to have your mom's phone number memorized, your grandma, your aunt, the babysitter, your school, all of those numbers had to be memorized up in your head. Maybe by chance, you might have had some gadget called a Rolodex, which was a gargantuan just monolith of a tire that you'd flip through and had thousands and thousands of numbers. Or for those of you who are philanderers, you may have had something called a little black book that you put in the little numbers of those other individuals that you would engage with. Yeah, we remember those days. But I do want to highlight this. For individuals that have heard of different tools such as WhatsApp and Babe, you're more used to things where you can just look at your phone and click on a picture and it calls the person. Or in some cases, you just tell the phone, call mom, and it does it automatically for you. That was then, but this is now. District 66, I went onto the dashboard and I noticed something. The dashboard in which it lists all the information about each district. And I noticed that for District 66, it stated that we have 95 clubs. It also showed and provided information to indicate that we have only 2 clubs that have 30 plus members and more than 30 clubs that are 12 members or less. Can you imagine us having clubs of 195? 195 clubs, that's right. And each and every single one of our clubs having 30 plus members. Huh, you may say, what's this guy drinking? Well, I do drink the good stuff, but I'll tell you that offline. The thing is this, at one point in time in our lives, we had only one phone number coming into our household. And truthfully, you may have had at most, maybe 2 phones. One that was sitting in the living room and that other one that was bolted against the wall in the parents' kitchen. And you had to navigate. We all had to navigate with our various family members on sharing the phone, especially with your siblings or your others within the family when they were talking to their girlfriends or boyfriends or whatever the case may be. Now, some individuals have even said, even till today, they still have that phone bolted against the wall. So it's a good memory server for you. But think back then. If your parents needed the phone, guess what? Your phone calls were off. That was it. But in today's time, not only do you have a phone that has no wires, everybody in the household has a phone, okay? Mom's got a phone, dad's got a phone, grandma's got a phone. And those of you who are babes or have babes in your house, they all have phones. Teenagers have phones, kids have phones. And guess what? Even in some households, the pets have a phone. Oh, you don't believe me? Okay. Ask the babes, go on Instagram and see how many different pets have communication links and see how many thousands of followers they have. That's how things can change with imagination and, of course, seeking the advances and utilizing the advances of technology. The other day, I was talking to a young lady in District 38, and she's first generation Chinese American. And we were talking about growing membership and involving people and bringing other people into our clubs. And we started talking about her parents. And she said immediately, oh no, my parents would not join Toastmasters. They prefer to speak in English, to speak in Chinese at every single point in time that they have. They would not be interested in joining Toastmasters. Interesting. Well, guess what? Imaginations run wild. Things can come true. January 27, 2021, District 38 chartered a club called the Chinese Bilingual Club. That's right, with 24 members. Guess what? Her parents can now join. Let your imagination grow. Let your imagination go wild and bring in new things. Now, I do want to go back just a little bit because we have a lot of oldies in the house here. So let's go back to some of the things that happened back in the day. Does anybody remember getting what was called a long distance phone bill? If you do, type in the chat Ma Bell, M-A capital B-E-L-L, or if you want Mabel, you can call Mabel as well too. That works fine. Now, for those that might not be familiar with Ma Bell was a telecommunications company that ran the whole telecommunications system within the USA just a few decades ago. Here is the interesting thing about Ma Bell. You would get long distance calls charges from calling just one state away. Yeah, and you could be right at the border and you would get that call. And the challenge was this: it did not matter. That bill came at the end of the month and you'd bite your finger. Now we'll ask Christine, why was it that Ma Bell always charged those, despite since your father worked there? You'll have
So
to
of course, my father was a millionaire, so I can't answer that question. But I had to pay long distance to call the town I went to high school in.
Look at that. So we have a real life connection. Thank you, Christine. And as she said, one key thing, her father was a millionaire. So all those long distance calls, guess what was happening there? Excellent. Now, want to bring the babes and the young ones back into the room as well too, and bring them into this conversation. Now, for anyone that has heard of a tool called WhatsApp, Twitter, Instagram, Marco Polo, type babe in the chat. We're going to label you a babe. Or if you have somebody in your household that has that on their phone, there you go. Excellent. We see some babes in the house. So you're aware of these tools. Another question is coming soon. And this is the question. With these tools, how many countries can you reach? Is it just within the USA? You can type in the chat. Is it just one country? Again, I'm not talking states, just countries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 100. Oh, it looks like the division director says the whole world. There you go. You can reach the whole world. Here's the harder question. How much will it cost you? 10 bucks a minute? 20, 30, 40? It's free. Thank you, Simona. That is correct. You can connect all across the world today for free. Now, when I say, and we challenge each other in terms of growing our clubs and growing our district, some may say, hey, the population of the state of Virginia, there's no way we can get to 195 clubs. There's no way we can get 30 plus members at each and every club. But with the marvels of technology, you can reach the entire world. And guess what? It's free. It's not going to cost you. Now, I stand here as a member of the Advanced Leadership Club in District 66. That's right, raise them up. But guess what? I'm in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I'm hundreds of miles away from you, but still a member, and I've been a part of the club for over a year now. And again, it's a brand new club, engaging and meeting several individuals, growing together, developing my communication and network skills. The last time I was in the state of Virginia was back in the 70s when I lived there with my dad. And for those who may know, he graduated from, those who might be their alma mater, he graduated from Virginia State University and VUU. If there are any other folks in the house that's their alma mater, and I see that, thank you. Now, let me take you back to that time being a child. I would sit with him in the evening, watching Star Trek, thinking of a future in which I too will be able to explore space. All of the variety and different gadgets that were available within the show, seeing these things come to pass at some point in the future, letting my imagination run wild. And guess what? Today, we have these things. Was I always this passionate about Toastmasters? Nah. I first joined Toastmasters in 2014, February. I gave my first icebreaker speech, December. I gave my second speech in June. And for some odd reason, they decided to make me treasurer. But that's a story for another day. But getting involved and being engaged has got me to the point where I realize not only as a club leader can I help engage others, but serving as a diligent club leader, letting my imagination go wild and bringing people in to our various programs that will help them grow. And then I said, maybe it's time to sponsor a club, mentor a club, engage with other clubs within the area, become an area director, and help other clubs grow and help them build and develop. But move beyond that, letting my imagination go wild and even more, and expanding my horizons, expanding where I want to go, becoming a division director, working with a variety of different clubs, helping people grow, helping clubs grow, establishing new clubs, letting the imagination run wild. Now, many will say, oh yeah, all right, you did that for Toastmasters, that's great. But what has that done for you in your life? Well, at the same time, I joined a company, a new organization, SAP, a technology company, and I only knew one person in the company, and that was the person who interviewed me. This is a company of 100,000 people. And one of the things that this person told me was this: at the company, SAP, you have to network. You have to build your network in order to connect with people. That's how this company runs. If you don't build a network, you can't engage folks, you might as well just go ahead and resign now. Toastmasters helped me get there. Helped me build my skills in terms of networking, engaging others. And at this point in time, again, engaging with you are hundreds of miles away. Having the opportunity to engage with others across the world. We continue to grow, we continue to develop, and that is the strength of Toastmasters. And that is the strength of each and every single one of us if we let our imagination go wild. Remember way back when you were a child and think of the future, of the things that you want to attain. You can get there. Now, fellow Toastmasters, unless you have extensive noise in your background, I would like for you to say these words with me. So come off of mute. I put them in the chat, but repeat after me. And I think somebody has an echo there. So if you don't mind, that person going on mute. All right. We still have the echo. Let's try one more time. Echo is still there. Okay. Say this and follow after me. Space.
Space.
The final frontier.
The final frontier.
These are the voyages
These are the voyages
of District 66
of District 66
on its ongoing mission.
ongoing mission.
Seek out new heights and new standards.
Seek out new heights and standards.
And I, insert your name, Toastmaster Ola,
And I,
Toastmaster
John.
will boldly go
will
where
boldly
no,
go
where no Toastmaster has gone before. And we're going to say that one more time. I, Toastmaster Ola, will boldly go where no Toastmaster has gone before.
I, Toastmaster
Boldly go where no Toastmaster has gone before.
Give yourself a round of applause. District 66 leaders, take us to the new frontier. Back to you.
Thank you, Ola. If everybody would take, unmute yourselves and let's give Ola a loud round of applause.
Way to go, Ola!
Awesome.
Let me tell you, Ola is like this. Every time we have our club meeting, the first and third Fridays of the month, he always has energy. He always entertains us, and he has the most creative table topics. It's just a lot of fun. Thank you so much, Ola. At this time, I'd like to open the floor for questions. It is a few minutes past 7. We'll stay online till 7:30, and I'd like to give you the opportunity just to ask any of the district leaders questions or to share things that are going well in your clubs. Who would like to go first?
Well, Maggie, this is John.
Hi, John.
Represent PMI EDC Toastmasters.
Yes, John. How are you?
Boy, we are having a tough time with membership.
Yes.
So I would like to ask, in this age of pandemic and video conferencing, what's the very best way to grow the club?
There's a lot of ideas, and we talked about this last night at our Region 7 district leadership meeting. We have a meeting once a month with all the other people in our positions, so all the district directors met. And one of the things we talked about is that we felt that we needed to create a greater sense of community in our clubs. If people feel that they belong, they feel connected to people, they have that personal connection. I don't know about you, but most of my friends are Toastmasters, either because I met them in Toastmasters and we became really good friends, or I recruited my friends to be Toastmasters. And we have a good time and we care about each other. This is our Toastmasters family. And one of the things we do every week at our trio meeting, our Pentagon meeting, is we check in and I want to know something good that's happening in my team's life in the past week, not related to Toastmasters. It's taken that time to get to know people on a more personal level, find out why they join. Let's see if we can help them meet their goals and keep them engaged. And I think all of us as leaders, whether we are at the district level or we're club officers or leaders without a title, we can all do that. I'd like to see if somebody else would like to share something else in addition to the concept of just creating more of a sense of community to our clubs.
Thank you.
I would like to go forward if you don't mind.
No, please.
John, it's great to meet you. I'm your division director, and we have some ideas that we would love to share with you. I know that I think that our area directors reached out to you, but we have a couple of ideas we would love to discuss with your group. And if we can arrange a time that we can come, the area director and myself can come and talk with you. We'd like to share some things that I think that might be helpful, if you're open to that. And if I could get you to just, John, are you the president of your club?
No, I'm not. I'm actually the secretary.
All right. Okay. Then I'm going to find you. Okay. I'm going to seek you out. I'm going to give you, after this meeting, I'm going to reach out to you. How about that?
Okay,
All
that's
right.
fine.
Thank you, Martha. Who else would like to share something that they find works well in building membership? William. Go.
This is more of a technical question and a comment. We're having recently a great deal of success with both Eventbrite and Meetup.
Mhm.
And I sorted out some processes to make sure that we're rapidly responsive in that regard. I sent John Roberts a note, and I don't know who the right person is to comment on this, but I understand that the district is going to pick up Meetup accounts, or whatever the right term is. And if that's correct, would we then be able, as a club, be able to go through that district account for Meetup, because we're not going to continue our paid membership in that?
Okay. John Roberts, our public relations manager, is here, and I will have him address this.
Yeah, I got that email, but was preparing for this week. I apologize, William. So the way we did, I proposed the meetup last year was because we had gone virtual. We didn't need one for each division, each club individually. We used to be set up by divisions that the district paid for. So we set up one account for the entire district and set it up by days of the week and times of the day rather than by areas, because time is more important to people, I think, than the area, since you could meet from anywhere. My club had visitors from Japan, Italy, the Czech Republic. So anybody anywhere can visit your club. So send me another email with your club information. I'll be glad to get it onto the Meetup website. And then that way it'll be listed there for people to find. And I'll put your contact information, whoever your VPM or VPPR is, to be able to contact. And that way they can contact you directly about meeting at your club.
Thank you, John. The good news is, you know, our VPM fairly well. I believe you know him as Martin Bussard.
I've never heard of him.
Never heard of him. Me neither.
He's always outstanding in a field. I don't know where he comes.
This is a fact. The important thing, I just want to make sure I understand you correctly, is that sending you that information, we will then get notification distributed through Meetup through that connection. Is that correct?
Not as such, because what I'll do is I'll put the VPMs, like I would hope the clubs have like VPM voices of change, or you add voices of change.net, or your club, whatever your email address is for the VPM. If it changes every year, it's always best to list the club officer rather than an individual address.
Correct.
That would be listed there, and that way if they wanted to contact you or Marty, they would send that directly to him, or if the email comes to me, I can then forward it to that email address, as long as I have the contact for them.
That's perfect. And that was the information I was looking for. Thank you very much.
Okay, no problem.
So our mission is to help our clubs build membership, because we know our clubs have taken a hit. It's happened all over the world. Throughout the world, we're down about 20% in membership. This is our year to rebuild. And we are trying lots of different things, and we always welcome ideas. So as I mentioned earlier, John has office hours the fourth Monday of the month, and he does some type of teaching on how you can reach out to your clubs. That is open to every member of the district. And I know John would love to have people there. There's been a small group every week, and I stop in just to say hello, I can get to know the members a little bit more and to see some of the things that he is teaching. But he has a lot of information, and he can help you tremendously. But he's also looking for help on his team of public relations. So we kind of work hand in hand on this. Who else has something they'd like to ask or share?
Maggie, I would.
Go ahead, Marty.
One of the things that I think we forget is that we have 1,500 members in our district. And we typically talk to the district leaders when we have questions about things or we need help with things. But this particular issue of how to market to new people and how to get new members, I think we should pass that on to the entire membership and say, hey guys, we need to grow this district and we need ideas on how to do that. Please forward them all to your club officers, your area directors, your division directors, and so on. We don't need to reinvent the wheel if we've got the expertise in the district.
Mhm.
So let's reach out to everyone we can and see what we can get back.
Who has something, another idea that's worked well for you? Thank you, Marty. Christine.
Thank you, Maggie. When COVID started, my club had troubles keeping up with the email and the link, even though it was the same link every week. So by request, I started emailing the link, and then I started to include the agenda, the evaluation forms, all of what a member would need to successfully work in the meeting that night. Then I started adding all the names that came along through the contact us methods, various ways. Some of them were my personal invitations, other people's invitations, the contact us. I just kept adding to that list. And we recently had someone come back. He's been getting the email for months. He visited once or twice, and he came back this week and he plans to join. So that constant reminding and putting Toastmasters in front of 70 some people every week seems to be helping.
Yes, thank you, Christine. How many of us have been asked many times before we joined? I mean, I knew about it probably 20 years before I joined Toastmasters. I mean, it takes us a long time sometimes. And then we know there's just that point where we need to join. So repetition does help. One of the things I suggested to the division directors and area directors is to go back to the clubs, look at the people who were members of your clubs last year and the year before who did not join or did not renew, and contact them. And now might be a better time. Now distance isn't a problem. We're meeting on Zoom, even though eventually we might not all be meeting on Zoom, but contact them, people who were members in the past year or so, and do it now, not in April while you're trying to get, your DCP. Get it now and think how much stronger your club will be if you add 2 or 3, 4 more members, or actually 5 during the Smedley Award, and get them in now. Your club will be stronger and you won't burn out the members that you do have because they're wearing too many hats at each meeting. And all clubs go through this. My club, West End, that's what we talked about the other night. How can we build membership? And we were coming up with all different kinds of ideas. But that networking, I think, is really key. And that's one of the reasons we're doing this. So you have that opportunity to meet people throughout the district and share ideas. Does anybody else have any other ideas on building membership that they'd like to share, or other questions that you'd like to ask any of the district leaders?
And this is a great time before things hopefully get worse. If you want to do an open house and you want to do it an in-person open house, or you can do a virtual open house. It doesn't matter. This is a way that you can promote your club to the community and put out there in the paper or through the social media, especially the social media, because that's where everybody is gathering information now about Toastmasters and about your club. So this is a great opportunity to start having your open houses.
And Tashawn and her team can help if you want to look at a demonstration meeting at your employer. That's what Tashawn's job is to help start new clubs and to build membership. She just recently had something with one of our members at LabCorp. Hopefully we're going to get a club started there. But it's not just about starting new clubs. It's about making our current clubs stronger. And we're trying to do that. We're not just grow. We're trying to build up our current clubs as much as we can. So when your area directors reach out to you, invite them to your clubs. And I've encouraged them to go out often, not just the few times that they're required to go out for their position, but often. So they are there to be a support to help you and identify what your needs are. But we as district leaders are here to help you and to help the members.
I have a question.
Yes, Dorothy.
When are we going to get well, I'll put it this way. I was a club coach. Okay, and thankfully and gratefully and everything else, the club was present and distinguished.
Mhm.
When do we get a notification that, yes, you succeeded? And when are we going to get, and that's a two-part question, and when are we going to get the information on how many clubs we actually have and how many have actually folded? I'll put it that way. So. those
Oh,
are my two.
I mean, I can tell you off the top of my head, that's on the dashboard. The dashboard is open to all members.
Oh, so it's
All members, you don't need to log in. It's on there. We went from 107 clubs down to 95. Some of those 95, there's 3 or 4 who are probably gonna fold. They just haven't yet. So we lost, what, 13 clubs?
okay.
Where's Marty? Where's helping me on the math? I think it was 13 clubs. We also, on the dashboard, the new alignment is on the dashboard. That was a process that we had to go through. We voted back in April, but we still had to make adjustments because some clubs folded. Some clubs are not suspended until they lose. They go more than one payment cycle. So if they only missed their April renewals, they're still on the dashboard. They are still are considered a club, and that's a Toastmasters rule. The club coaches that you're asked for notification, you should have received notification. I can look in that for you. It should be taken care of, or Tashawn, actually, if you can look into that, because coaches fall under club growth. But we'll find that information out for you.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Dot hadn't received anything from TI, but based on the dashboard, you were awarded for your club coach.
Well, I wanted to, have a celebration or something, so come on.
Well, I can tell you, sometimes we wait a little while for Toastmasters. Honestly, the dashboard was only updated last week on the 28th.
Okay, that's why I did. Okay.
Right, the dashboard was only updated at that time.
Okay.
And we're all every day looking at to see, okay, did the alignments get right? Did, how many clubs did it say down? And then we still had questions, and Tashawn was already on the phone with TI this week, finding out why a club that we thought folded did not fall off the dashboard.
Okay.
So, but the alignments are now correct, and that's something at the district council meeting we will talk about again. And well, that information will go out, but it's on the dashboard. And anybody who doesn't understand the dashboard and wants to know, set up a time to talk to any one of us on the trio. We'll set up a Zoom call and talk to you about that, because the dashboard to us, it's not just about the numbers, but it's like a report card. It tells us how well we're doing, how many of our clubs are at charter strength, how many need coaches, how many are below 8 are gonna fold probably, how many have been holding on year after year and get to that magic number of 8 and still don't fold, but probably should be folded because they're just not they're not a healthy club. And it's not to say that we're trying to help all those clubs, and we look at that so we can help all. And that's why you have division directors and area directors, so they can, by certain geographic area, help those clubs. And that's what the area directors and division directors are there to do for you. So Dorothy, did I answer all your questions? I know there were a few parts in there.
Yeah, you did. I was wondering because I looked and I haven't looked since the 28th, so obviously.
Right. And that
and it's there. I probably should have looked before I asked the question.
That's fine. I can guarantee some of us look daily.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Maggie, any idea when we will get the speech contest trophies from last year?
Absolutely. I have an answer to that too. You will get them. They will be, I talked to T. Fuller tonight, and he is going to be gathering all the ones that are outstanding from previous time, and we will have them at the gala on September 18th. So we will have them at that time for sure. So we have them. It's just a matter of getting them to people. And we were trying to do something in person, and it just wasn't working over the summer. But on September 18th at the awards gala, we will be handing them out so you can proudly accept your awards.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just one last question for Martha. Martha, would it be okay if I sent you an email to,
Absolutely.
let's see, Denise 6710 at
Please do.
Comcast.net.
Yes,
Does that
that'll
work?
work. That'll work.
Okay,
And then we'll
Okay.
set up
Great.
an appointment. Sounds great.
all right.
Other questions? Come on, somebody's got to have a question for Marty. I mean, come on, Marty. You got to have a question for him.
No, you don't.
Contest, conference, training, anything else I put down his way?
Cruising.
Okay, Marty, I got one for you.
That was good.
Are links going to change anytime soon? Our club has a link for Zoom. Is that going to remain what it is? Is that going to change? Are we going to do it ourselves and limit our club meeting to 45 minutes? What's going on?
That's an answer for Maggie.
I do have an answer.
Okay, Maggie, same question.
All division directors and area directors have been sent emails to activate a Zoom account for the division director and the area directors. Those accounts are to be used to help the clubs, and those are unlimited time. Just like this account, this is a account paid for by the district. So you want to know what the district's doing for you. People often ask, well, what's the district doing? We're now trying to, and we did this last year and it might not have been used as much. We want the area directors to let you use their Zoom accounts for your club meetings. That is the purpose of those meetings. It's also an opportunity for the area directors to meet with all the club presidents or VPEs or however, you know, they want to set things up, but to meet with the clubs. So they're there, they're paid for by the district, and we want you to use them. So your area director should, and I have a list of that, and it's one of the things I'm going to go through again. I just sent those emails out about the third time now for them to accept those accounts. So does that answer your question, Dwayne? Now you got to come up with one for Marty.
Yes, it answers my question. Marty, I got nothing for you, buddy.
That's okay. It looks like we're almost out of time.
We'll have to go watch the Olympics.
You got 3 minutes. Come on. But actually, Marty's the one you contact for officer training information, for conference information, and for speech contest. And then behind the scenes, you can ask me because I did that last year. But just know that your leadership team is here to help you, and you just need to ask questions and share your ideas. The next town hall will be on September 2nd, and I'm happy to announce that our past district director and past international director, Reggie Ford, will be our speaker at that time. So we will have Reggie, and Reggie always brings lots of energy. Although, don't forget, I always remind him that I beat him in the marathon because we run together from time to time, and that is my claim to fame with Reggie. And we have a good time together. But he will be speaking on September 2nd, and I hope you bring lots of questions for him. But if you don't have any more questions or anything else that you'd like to share, we will see you next time, and bring your other club members out. They don't have to be officers, they don't have to be leaders, but it's just an opportunity for us to network and learn from each other and spend some time together and get to know each other. And this is our way of telling you what we do, but also building our community within the district. So have a great evening, everyone. I will stay online as long as anybody would like.